Welcome to your fantasy gymnastics update. We are recording this on January 29th. We're going to tell you who's a steal, who's on a bye, who's injured, who are the biggest risks, how much it would have cost to get a 10 last week. Welcome to the #1 gymnastics podcast in the galaxy. I'm Jessica, and here with Spencer from the Balance Beam Situation, who has the schedules and all the links to the scores up on the balancebeamsituation.com. And he also has the gifts of the week, which are hilarious. And this week will include many people being high-fived to the face. It happens every week, but you can look forward to that this week. So let's get started. You can play at gymcastic.com/fantasy. The way that our fantasy league, it's in beta, it's our very first year, and we'll include going through the elite season, is that you get a budget and you have to manage a budget just like a real pro league with your fantasy GymCastic dollars. So bargains after week 4. All of these gymnasts have gotten a 9-9 or above. Let's start with vault.
On vault, we want to profile Lauren Williams of Arkansas. 2 of her 3 vaults this season have been above 9-9. Arkansas's vault, they're scoring very well, so definitely take a look at that lineup.
McKenna Smith at Utah, 3 of 4 vaults above a 9-9.
Yeah, her teammate, also Cammie Winger, is one to keep an eye on. New gymnast in the lineup this year, a freshman, and she's made the lineup vaulted in every meet, and her peak is a 9.95 so far this year. 2 of her 3 other vaults were above 9.8, so that's another person to keep in mind for Utah and their quest to have 6 consistent 10-0 starts, which is very realistic.
KJ Johnson at LSU. You know her, of course, of motocross anime buns and the compression socks. She vaulted in all 4 meets these past weeks. All vaults were 9.8 plus, and one was a 9.925.
Also, keep an eye on Hallie Gregoire at Arizona State. So she started out with 9.775, 9.725, but has gone 9.925, 9.825 the last 2 times. There are a lot of potential values in Arizona State's lineups that I would encourage people to keep an eye on. I have Emily White as her beam routine in my lineup. I just added the last couple of weeks, and I have not regretted it.
On bars, which is the Olympic order, which some schools didn't get correct in their graphics this year. Pac-12 network. Oh, anyway, bars. Kinsey Davis of Nebraska. She's been on bars all 4 meets above a 9.8 and 1.9975. She's 3,000.
And she's in my lineup. Maddie Walagora of Alabama, another one, has been as high as 9.925 this year. And we know her when she's on, when she gets consistent, when she's confident, it's such a clean routine. And it's pleasing to see that she's been in Alabama's lineup and is getting those opportunities.
She's so pretty. I could watch her all day on bars. Priscilla Park of Arkansas, same situation as Maddie. 1 not great routine, 1 solid routine, and 1 9.925.
And we saw her as a level 10 gymnast before this year. The potential she has on bars is so high. Also, keep an eye on Isabella Neff at Southern Utah. Lots of high scores so far this year. 2 9.875s and a 9.9. She has really come through on a reformulated Southern Utah team and a lot of new routines, and she's really been one they've been able to rely on.
MJ Frazier, of course, of Cal, of the Frazier sister, Super Bowl paradise, is only 3,000. Nothing below a 9.85, 1.9925, and a 9.95. So she's good at all the things. If you need someone, MJ Frazier. But we're talking about bars specifically. But yeah,
I have her on most events. Yeah, I mean, I would say beam as well for MJ Frazier. She has a 10 this season, so that's pretty important.
That ring
yeah. Oh, how it's supposed to be done. 10 last 2 scores have been 9.925, so that's a hugely valuable beam routine.
Skyla Schulte of Michigan State, who we've been talking about before she even started at Michigan State. She's so glorious and brings it. Nothing below a 9.825, last 2 meets 9.95, and then she got a 9.9. She's amazing and a very good dancer, as we talked about on our intro to the main show today, where she had a dance off with an Iowa gymnast. Hawkeyes.
Oh my God, Jessica.
Not Iowa State.
The Cyclones and the Hawkeyes are going to come for you.
Totally different
You've ruined
team.
everything again. Also, Ella Burgess of Alabama, who we've talked about for a number of years. This year, she finally got promoted out of the leadoff spot in Alabama's beam rotation, and she's getting the scores that go with it. Last two meets, she's had a 9.95 and a 9.9.
Bailey Bunn, author of one of the most iconic full turn anti-gravity saves of all time on beam. So it didn't help her fantasy score that time that she almost fell, but that performance was bookmarked by 9.95 and 9.9. So Bailey Bunn, not just for incredible saves.
Also, Ellie Cacciola from Southern Utah. Last three meets on beam, 9.825, 9.925, 9.825. When you're looking for that, yes, reliable. I'm not worried that you're going to suddenly like disappear in the middle of the season. I'll have to count a zero like most weeks that I've had to do. You've got Ellie Cacciola.
So moving over to floor, Lauren Williams of Arkansas. You will have to spend a little more. She's in the $5,000 GymCastic fan bucks fantasy range. But 3 floor routines that went 9.95, you guys. She's worth it.
Also, Suki Pfister, Ball State. Obviously, we know her on vault, and she has a 10 this year on vault, but her floor has finally arrived this season, and she didn't compete floor in the first meet, but since it's been 9.825, 9.95, and 9.9, the cleanliness prowess that you know from her vault translates exactly to floor, and it's come through, and it's amazing.
And one correction, that Lauren Williams, 2 of her 3 floor routines are 9.95, but still, you guys. Also, Suki Pfister, the red alert steal of the week. Basically, we forgot to put the flag up. Bree Clark at Clemson, only 2,000, 9.9 and 2 9.925s, you guys. Very good at the floor.
Chloe Widner of Stanford doesn't always compete floor. So this is one to keep an eye on. It's potentially a gamble, but she's gone 9.825, 9.925. She has beautiful form on every event. She's one of those gymnasts who you always feel like she could get a 10 if the stars are correctly aligned, because there's nothing built in. What are you taking? What are you deducting? If she's on that day, it's going to be a huge score.
The biggest upset for me last year at NCAA championships was that Chloe Widner didn't win something like she deserved. Carly Bauman at Michigan has competed floor on all 4 of the last 4 weeks of meets. Nothing lower than a 9.825 with a high of 9.925. So she's only 2,000, kind of a steal. The league winner this week for week 4 is that's the current leader, because we don't have the final, because there's one more meet this.
We're waiting for, I got to wait for Ohio State to compete as we record. My total is very TBD because I'm waiting on some Ohio State routines. But currently right now, Wildberry Zanger is winning the week. But watch out. Wait for it.
Yes, very excited. Some of our favorite names this in the league, team names in the league. The league, by the way, free to join. Anybody can join, and you can start your own private league, just you and your friends if you want to. And if you like keeping track of your own scores in your own place, there is an app. You can get it for the Chromes or for the Apples, and it is called Active Dream, and you can have your own teams with your own scores and adds them all up, and it's a really fun app. But anyway, our favorite names this week: CEO of Bose, not Bowls. Went to salad, like Simone and her salad bowl. No, CEO of Bose, and an ode to
that's
Leanne Wong.
An ode to Leanne Wong.
We
also have Holly Jolly Polly, which is like, is that what UCLA's home stadium is called when they get scored on floor at home meets? We go to Holly Jolly Polly.
It's not called Gymnastics. Always a classic. Always a classic. And Protanova's eyebrow. You guys, if you're not aware, behind me is my prayer candle to our great savior, Elena Protanova, and her shaved eyebrow. So, yeah. Okay. Lineups this week. When are they due? What's happening?
Week 5 lineups are scheduled to lock Friday at noon, but remember, your previous lineup from week 4 will carry over. If you decide, / more accurately, forget to update it, it'll carry over.
The price of a 10 this week. So week 4, this is how much it would have cost last week in week 4 to have a 10 on your roster. So,
Mhm.
Nikki
Wide range. Nikki Smith got a 10, 3,000 from Michigan State. You have your Connor McLean got a 10 on beam because of course she did. She can leap correctly and it's Connor McLean, but it's Connor and it's going to cost you. So that 10 is a 6,250 10, but you've got Nikki Smith, same score on floor for 3,000. Lily Hudson's vault for Alabama was 5,000. Raina Worley's floor for Kentucky was 5,000. Mackenzie Wilson's vault for Kentucky at 3,000. So the steals are there. Typically, if you want to get a 10, you're going to have to pay for it. But it's a 10.
So some quick league stats. So these are the gymnasts who were rostered the most, or things that stood out about rostering. Why isn't Connor McLean beat out Haley Bryant now for the being in the top spot? I'm waiting for that to happen.
Connor McLean's routines cost 6,250 fake GymCastic dollars because she's Connor McLean.
But so do Haley Bryant's. Anyway, Lily Smith, where is she now?
Yeah, Lily Smith's bars is in a quarter of everyone's lineups because it's Lily Smith, and has worked exactly what you need to do to get a 10 in college gymnastics and a perfect toe point.
Fourth most rostered, and it's Lily Baby Nastia Smith, in case you forgot who we were talking about, you guys.
And Sage Kellerman's vault, which she got a 10 the very first week, remains tied for the NCAA gymnastics lead on vault, is now the number 2 most rostered athlete in 39% of teams.
We have buys this week. There are buys coming up, so make sure to take gymnasts from these teams off your roster. If you don't want to get zeros, get it.
Alaska, Illinois State, Northern Illinois, SEMO buys this week.
Injured athletes. It's very sad. We're not over it yet. Adeline Kenlin got injured on vault. On the main show, I did create a completely foot-free, using hands, back, and butt only routine that she could do on beam, as long as someone catches her when she dismounts. But Adeline Kenlin, injured. Who else, Spencer?
So be aware, Bella Mabanta was also out last week. Cadence Gormley of Kentucky was on crutches. We saw Ellie Weaver get injured at the Oregon State Cal meet. Ellie Weaver for Oregon State. So keep an eye on those for keeping your roster updated. In terms of teams with 2 meets in week 5, a few teams, including George Washington and Penn. So note those, that you get double the chances in week 5.
We do 3 podcasts every week. We have the main show about everything, including the elite news. We have our fantasy update, this show. And on Friday nights, or sometimes Saturdays, we pick a meet, we all watch it together, and then we discuss it as a family. And it's super fun. And it's called College and Cocktails. And there's a whole menu. You can make your mocktail like I do, to have sippy sips while we discuss live and answer questions live. We're also going to National Team Camp this coming week, and we'll have a live podcast from there as well. So if you want to support us in these things, you can always donate on the Join the Club page. There's a donate button at the bottom, or you can join Club Gym Nerd. Club Gym Nerd is how we afford to do all the things, and we are so appreciative and we love you guys. And I'm so happy the Club Gym Nerd members who asked for a fantasy league, now you have our version of the fantasy league, where you get to manage a budget like a real pro team, and it's very, very difficult to do. So we'll see you Friday for College and Cocktails, and this week it is going to be at 8 p.m. Pacific, and so we'll see you there. Until then, good luck with your fantasy team, and we'll see you on College and Cocktails on Friday. Thanks for listening.